Hello everyone. Today I wanted to discuss tips for publishing your first academic article. I want to discuss this today because you may have a topic of research that you're very interested in that you want to fully research, conduct the study, and then publish or submit to a journal for publication. I do understand that publishing an article in an academic journal can be a frustrating process that demands a substantial commitment of time and hard work. However, establishing a record of publication is very essential, especially if you want to pursue a career as an academic or scientific researcher. I do have 5 suggestions that can assist with publishing your first journal article. Number one, you want to target your appropriate audience. It may always be tempting to submit your first article to one of the top journals in the field. However, you want to make sure that you also not only think about the audience, but target the appropriate journal as well based on your topic and research study. So, after all, there are the journals that you and your peers may be more familiar with. However, you want to make sure that you do submit to one that again targets the audience that you want to pursue within your research. It is important to remember that the top professional journals are very competitive. These type of academic projects that get published, such as journals, are generally groundbreaking studies of great significance, many of which rely on the scholarship of multiple authors. They can result in considerable research budgets and institutional support. However, I do not want to persuade anyone or discourage anyone from submitting to a top journal article. I just want everyone to just be prepared for the type of work and commitment that it will require. So, some things to take into account when you're targeting a specific journal is the review times and policies on multiple submissions. You should expect then most reviews to take several months at a minimum. Meanwhile, most journals do not accept an article for review that is simultaneously being reviewed by another journal. So this is something that you want to make sure that you do your due diligence on and research the backgrounds of their requirements. Number two, say something new. So in research writing, it's not important to reinvent the wheel, but it's important to fill a gap in existing literature. So often, successful academic articles do two things. They position themselves within existing scholarship, and they subsequently build on existing knowledge. So the common expression that is used is stand on the shoulders of giants, and often attribute to their work, meaning filling in a gap that they weren't able to fulfill within their own research. And also, it's important to remember that it's not enough to merely review or summarize existing literature. You want to add to that literature and use it to support the statements within your research. You want to definitely allow time for the editing process. The editing process can become lengthy, so you want to take time to make sure that you re-review your article to correct any structure, spelling, or grammar errors. You want to allow time for this because you may have to do more than one edit in the process. Number four, reference strategically. References are your source of credibility in any academic paper. It goes without saying that if you want your work to be considered serious and be considered by a publisher, you want to rely on credible journal articles to support the statements within your paper. I always advise it is important to stay away from websites such as Wikipedia and other standalone websites. Last but not least, Do not be discouraged if a reviewer says no. Keep Find out the requirements of resubmitting, and be sure to readjust or re-edit your paper to meet those requirements, so that you know how many submissions that they do allow. And again, stay positive and do not be discouraged. Thank you all.